My first intake at a dispensary was a few pounds, a few racks. Owners got me so high I couldn't socialize. I signed, took my money, and pulled the ejection seat. What's up, Void? All right, I'll tell you mine. I'm gonna read this one and then I'll tell you. Good Boys! The movie's Good Boys. That movie was so good. One time in high school, me and my homies back in SoCal took like a big trash can bin and then put it over our heads and took a joint. You hotboxed the trash bin? Yo, are you from the inland? Are you from the Inland Empire? Huh? Is that where you are in SoCal? Like hotboxing a fucking trash bin. I love the creativity though. Yo, if you ain't got a car, you got the recyclable. You already know I do. Oh, I love that. And then put it over our heads and took a joint and went to the bottom of my pool and hotboxed the bin while in shrooms. That was epic, but then had to go eat burgers with my family, which definitely was not cool. Just staring at the burgers like, what the fuck? Bro, that would be wild. That would be wild. Like, no matter where you go to breathe, you're like, that would be wild. My first time was at age 30, 36 now. Welcome to the club. I like a late bloomer because that's good. That's good. You had your shit together. You're doing the adult experience as you should be an adult. It was just me and my wife. Oh, even better. You got really paranoid of a flashing light on top of the mountains outside our town. Afterwards, I kept doing laps around the house, grabbing Cheez-Its on every lap and laughing because I couldn't stop laughing. You know, because I couldn't stop laughing. It made no sense. That's the best part. I love that. I love that. So you stopped panicking about the light then. Thanks, Purgy. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Rancho Cucamonga. Oh, dang. Stay safe out there with the fires. My first time was with 3 friends. We improved a bong out of a small Coke bottle. It's always the Coke bottles. And took turns taking the whole bottle in one hit. I took mine and pulled Whitney. When they took theirs, the first 2 took their hits and coughed. And then the third guy took his hit and sneezed. And I tried to point this out. And we couldn't stop laughing for like 10 minutes of how incoherent and wasted I was. I have a good one. I'll tell you guys my first experience. 3 a.m. May not have been spinning drum and bass records at 3 a.m. after work once while smoking 4 blunts. All of a sudden, we got a knock on the door and I was elected to answer it. I opened the door to 2 cops that said to me, "How much weed have you guys been smoking this evening?" I just froze and they told us to turn the music down and made sure no one was driving anywhere. Then they left and I didn't even know how to respond. Ooh. I have 2 stories to tell you. I'm gonna read Riley's and Ariel's and then I'm gonna tell you my 2 stories. Thank you, hot Tully. First time for me was when I visited Cali. I love the Cali stories. Cali weed's like fucking insane, bro. I'm super thirsty. I was when I visited my friend during Easter time when I was in LA, smoke on the Lord's Day, love it. Get back to the earth, natural substance, love it. We ended up smoking on Oceanside Beach in the nighttime. What's happening over there? You're eating dirt. You're staying inside. Get up here now. Get up here. Get up here now. Stay. Sorry, I visited my friends during Easter when I was in LA. We ended up smoking on Oceanside Beach in the middle of the... Don't eat my bubble gum! In the middle of the night. In the middle of the nighttime with a bunch of people he invited. The effects were delayed as fuck, but when they hit me, all I remember was laying down. Blonde girl's on top of me. Oh, it's like that. And it started laughing with her saying, "I think I'm fucking high right now." Aw, and you guys made out? That's nice. That's a good story. That's not a silly one. I showed my friend that you could use a M100 firework in the toilet and the water would splash straight up and go back in the toilet. I showed him twice. It went up, touched the ceiling, and went directly back in the toilet. Instead of doing it like I did, he immediately lit it and dropped it in the toilet and it sank to the bottom and blew out the toilet. We destroyed my dad's toilet with those big firecrackers. Like, that's the best shit, bro. Oh, I love it. Bye, Doc Savage. Oh no, good luck with that. Oh, good luck, good luck. No worries, Benjamin. Okay, so I want to keep reading this. I don't want to miss them. We were pretending we had hydraulics by pumping the brakes and cracking the steering wheel in the middle of the street. First time I smoked a blunt, called it skirtin'. Skirtin', I love it. Also, if you know what Green Dragon is, then you have to try that shit ASAP. I don't. I was trying to think. I might have an idea. Take some flour and bake it in the oven and boil Everclear. Then put the weed in the Everclear and boil it. Then strain it. Put it in the fridge. All you need is a little sip. No drugs, straight high for more than 24 hours. Then would just play Borderlands the whole fucking day or sit in the studio making some bangers. Bro, I would be paranoid as fuck. Oh my God. Let me teach you something. You might need a new toilet. Aw, hi Benjamin, no worries. One time me and my older brother, it's always older brother, so my first story is an older brother. One time me and my older brother smoked weed after we drank. When we were driving home, we kept laughing so hard because I was tripping on how slow he was driving, and we never stopped laughing until we made it home. And we were shocked because we made it without knowing how, because we all remember laughing like there's no tomorrow. See, I love that too, because you do drive really slow, right? Like, you shouldn't drive high, but you do like go really slow. Oh my God. Oh, thanks, Robin. Okay, so I really love the stories of the people saying like how the earth felt like it was coming to them. And I really admire people whose older brother got them high. So I'm one of 8, all in foster care, right? My sister and my half sister and my other half brother, who are around the same age, they're the only ones that weren't, but everyone else was in foster care, right? So my older brother and me were very close. He's only a few years older than me. My first time I saw, I was seeing life in slow motion. It really does. Low FPS. That's exactly what it is. And so at the time, my older brother, I was 14 the first time I got high, and then I never got stoned again until I was 17, and then again when I was 18, and I smoked 18 and up. But I was 14, and me and my brother were going through a lot of ins and outs in our life, and he was like, yo, Des, like, let's get stoned together. And I was like, nah, I can't smoke weed, because I was a goody two-shooter, right? Like, didn't do anything until I was like older. And somehow he convinced me to try weed. And my older brother, so I was 14, he was just turned 17, and we were in Florida on Jupiter like island. So he was at his grandmother's, so had a really nice house on Jupiter Island. And she actually had like it was like a beach house or whatever, and he had like the biggest bong. Like, I kid you not, it was like a 16-inch bong. And I had no idea how to smoke weed. Like, I was such a good girl. Like, I had never even seen like a weed apparatus, anything like that. So he's like, this is how you do it. And he like lights the bowl, smokes it, holds it in and inhales and pushes it out, right? So I'm like, okay. And he's like, but you have to suck all of it. So like my first hit, right, he packs the bowl and he's like, you have to smoke all of it. And like, I had no idea. So I'm like, okay. So I literally fill the whole thing up, and he's like, fill it up and then inhale. So I fill the whole thing up, right? And then he tells me to keep sucking it. I smoked the entire 16 inch of the bong, right? So insane, okay? And then I just like coughed for like a good 3 minutes. And then when I was done coughing, I was immediately stoned. I did milk it because he had his girlfriend with him, and he was like, yo, ha, and they were like kind of laughing at me like, ha, yo, like, she smoked it, you know? And after I was done, like literally dying to where I thought I was gonna puke, I'm like, he's like, okay, let's go like watch SpongeBob, right? And I'm like, okay, cool. Like, let's watch SpongeBob. And it was like this long ass hallway. And like, I turned to leave the bedroom and like, we go to walk down the go get down. And we turn to walk down the hallway, right? And I'm like, oh shit. Right? And then like, that's how I was literally walking. And like, the more I was like walking, all of a sudden the earth started rocking back and forth to where I literally fell on my knees and I was going like this, bro. This is how I was walking on the ground. So him and his girlfriend turned around and they start laughing at me and they're like, yo, she's so high. And they're like pissing their pants, like, ah, you know? And I'm on the ground, I'm crawling like this. This is how I was crawling. And then I like go like this, and then I go like this, right? Like if I was like actually falling over, okay? It was so insane. Then you know, I'm like laughing, I'm almost pissing my pants, they're pissing their pants. Somehow I make it to the couch, and like his grandma is there, and she's like, you guys want pizza? And we're like, yeah, we want pizza. And we're sitting there watching SpongeBob, and then the pizza comes and we get up to go get the pizza. And right when we turn to get the pizza, it had been 20 minutes, bro. 20 minutes for the pizza to show up, okay? So imagine this. Imagine this. We turn to go to the table for the pizza and I let out the biggest burp I've ever had in my imagination. And it was white smoke, bro. Not even clear. It was white smoke. So for 20 minutes, my lungs had held that much smoke in the bottom of them. Like, it was the wildest thing. We were like, what? Like, I was like, and I swear I felt like a little extra high, right? So, yeah, it was in my stomach. Ah, okay, that makes sense. I mean, I don't know, it was wild to this day. Like, I still remember that moment. I'm like, that was wild. Because I burped it all up. I burped in like like I was like, bleh. And we were like, what the fuck? It was so wild because it was so funny. I'm not trying to yell. I just get excited. Sorry, I'm excited. It's a good memory for me. It was so wild, man. I just remember being like, what? and then we're like eating the pizza, right? And the slow-mo thing happened to me. So like we're eating it and his grandma's sitting there and they're like eating it. And like, I'm like, oh shit. I'm eating this pizza way too slow. Like she knows I'm high, right? So I started eating the pizza like crazy to where I was stuffing, like I was like stuffing it in my mouth. Right? And like she puts her hand on the side of my arm and she's like, why are you eating so fast? You're gonna get sick. Because I was like stuffing it in my mouth because in my brain, I was like, oh fuck, I'm eating so slow, you know? And it was such a funny experience. I remember like after that, we all went into the ocean. And that's how we came up with this game. So after that, it was on the Jupiter Inlet. Certain times of the year, there are jellyfish that come in the inlet. And she had a boat lift and we were like so high, we're like, let's go swim in the inlet, right? So we came up with this game and we played it for years after. Anytime we went back to her house, like this was like a game we would play. Don't be suspicious. So the boat dock, what you do is you'd have one person stand on one side of the boat dock because there wasn't a boat on it, on the boat lift on one side, and the other person stand on the other side of the boat lift, right? And then the third person who was not playing would shake the boat lift, right? And you had to stand on it without touching the sides, and the first one to fall off would fall into the jellyfish and get stuck, right? That's what we did. And then after that, that's how we came up with that game. And that was like our life game, bro. Like that was like, oh yeah, we're gonna like fuck with the jellyfish game. It was so weird. And luckily they were like the little, like they were like probably like this big, and they were like orangey brown on the bottom and then clear. So they weren't like, they didn't have crazy tentacles. So they sting you and hurt like a motherfucker, but they weren't like gonna like kill you or anything. The Jellyfish Game. For real talk, Okay, real talk for someone who spent any time in Florida. What is your favorite part of Publix? Publix sub, the deli, for sure. Did you ever take a jellyfish out of the sea and just lay it on your body? No. No. Oh, thank you, Bone Loads. Oh, thank you, Deb. My weekend's great. We're having a fun little chit-chat stream. When you're high and you're playing Bob, but you zone in on it and you're like, I've got to get the highest level. I still didn't take my other medicine. I'm going to show my prescription. My first time. Hold on. My first time I asked my asshole friends to go easy on me, but they gave me the strongest shit they had. I felt like I melted into my car and couldn't say a word for 2 hours. Oh, shit. I'm not sure why my story isn't posting. It keeps saying it's against TOS in moderation. Change a few words, maybe? Don't use capitals? Copy and paste it for next time so you can just change certain things so you don't have to retype it every time. Thanks, Blue Hana. There is a cheese that I always use in Publix subs, smoked Gouda. I do like their Gouda. One of the words is banned term. Ah. Wait, does the pee actually stop the stinging? No one ever peed. We never peed on each other. Because they weren't like that bad of bites. Like it would hurt and you'd be like, fuck, you know, but it wouldn't sting for hours because they were like, I don't know what type of jellyfish they were, but it was only certain times of the year. I have a famous bong named Excalibur. I would go to parties and people I'd never meet would come up and ask me if I was the one who owned Excalibur. I love that. You know, I had this really cool pipe and I wish I could find another one like it. It's not a bowl, it's a steamroller. So I had a steamroller that was a 15-inch steamroller that was filled with glycerin. So glycerin doesn't freeze, it just stays really fucking cold. So smoking out of a glycerin steamroller, and then it had a little, like a long part for the mouth that was as wide as the rest of the steamroller. It was probably like this thick around. You could put an ice cube in there too, so it'd be extra cold, and it was like the best. So if you ever get the chance to find a steamroller with liquid nitrogen in it, it's great. Steamrollers are still the hype. Glycerin, sorry, not nitrogen. Glycerin. Yeah. Oh, who do you want to time out, Kickmaster? Oh, I'm glad you had a good time. That's fun. Did you get the, I'm guessing you're a dude, Mood Sky. Did you get the garter around the bride? Did you guys play that? Steamrollers are still the shit. I still love them because bowls, like, they get dirty really quickly and kind of gross.